Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to Avonbourne Academies. As I'm sure you will agree, under very, very different circumstances. I usually do these events face to face. It offers a much more personal approach to these events, and that's just the way we like to do them. But under current circumstances, we just haven't been able to do so. So we have resorted to a pre-recording of this message, which I hope you find really, really useful. We're doing this remotely. Myself, I am currently in Gloucester at my school, Henleybank High School, and Miss Barr is currently sat in Bournemouth at your new big school. So we're doing this at distance. We are hoping that the only glitch that we may have is me having to say, next slide, please, and making sure that we can communicate through so it's nice and fluent. I hope that you find this presentation really useful and it adds further excitement to you, boys and girls, as you prepare to join your new school in September. I'm gutted that I can't see your faces, ladies and gentlemen, but I am just hoping that behind this screen here, I'm seeing lots of smiling faces, excited faces, and that includes parents and carers also. I just want to say thank you to Miss Barr, who I know many of you will already know. The amount of effort that she has put into making this transition event happen, and also all of the work that goes up to it, is absolutely phenomenal. I'm really, really excited to be working with Miss Barr from September. And I'd also like to say thank you to Mr. Chris Miles and his IT team, who have ensured that this event runs super smoothly. Tonight, we just need to fulfill a few objectives. Miss Barr, next slide, please. So the objective for this evening is firstly to say hello and give you a warm welcome to Avonbourne Academies. As your new principal, I cannot wait to meet you and to get stuck in at the new schools with you. The second is to introduce myself, to let you know who I am, a little bit about me, what I feel underpins a fantastic education, what great students look like and sound like, and also what makes a thriving school culture for staff and for students. Thirdly, and most importantly, is to describe to you, and I'll do this with the expertise and experience of Miss Barr, to share with you what life is like at Avonbourne Academies. And what we want to do under the circumstances, working remotely from Gloucester and from Bournemouth, is to paint for you as clear a picture as possible so that when you close your eyes tonight, you dream really happily and excitedly about life at big school. And as I said, we just can't wait to meet you. Now, due to the sheer numbers present in this format of meeting, it's not going to be possible for us to do the usual question and answer session, which comes at the end traditionally. But what Miss Barr will do is release a Google form of some sort that will allow you to write your questions directly onto that. And then Miss Barr and I, with other members of the team, will go through and get back to you as soon as we possibly can. So please do, if you have access to it, get a pen, get a paper, and write down things as we go through this. Okay, so let's get started. So who am I? So I'd like to be able to give you some kind of romantic story about how I got into education, about how I wanted to change the youth of today and give something back to society. But alas, I can't do that. Being born on the outskirts of Coventry in quite challenging circumstances as a school refusing young carer with a pretty roguish side, becoming a teacher really wasn't on my bucket list. In fact, my route into education went via a number of different experiences in employment. University, of course, where I graduated as a science graduate in biogeochemistry, semi-professional rugby playing, nightclub management, business development, finance. I was exploring a number of things. In fact, my dream was to join the British Army and eventually join the Special Forces and then become a frontline journalist for the BBC or Sky News, for example. Unfortunately, whilst on that journey, I had a pretty catastrophic leg injury playing rugby, and that dream was over. But when I set foot for the first time into a school in London, where I started my teaching career in some of the most challenging schools in London, I realised as soon as I entered the classroom that all of those experiences, the good ones and the bad ones, were meant to happen. And at that moment, I knew exactly where I was meant to be in life, and it gave all of those experiences real purpose. I've, from a teaching perspective and leadership, I've led extremely successful science and mathematics departments across the country, and have achieved nationally recognised GCSE results in both subjects. And quite strangely, I guess, I'm a head teacher that still teaches. I like to be on the front line with my colleagues and with my students. I still love teaching. That's why I got to this position in the first place. So I will be teaching at Avonbourne academies. I joined United Learning in 2012, where I was lead for behaviour at one of another local schools. I was teaching maths at the same time, and I left in 2018 to join another trust to become a head teacher, my first post as such. I started as a head in a very damaged school. It was described by many as unbroken and unfixable. It was due to close the week my trust actually took leadership of the school. And it was ranked in the bottom 1% nationally with respect to student outcomes and progress. And I can assure you it was even lower on staff and student well-being and happiness. But just nearly 3 years on, I'm really proud to report that the school is now ranked among the best schools in the country, in the top 4% based on student progress. And it is the highest performing non-selective school in Gloucestershire. And it has absolutely smashed open the grammar school monopoly and is reported currently to be the most improved school in Britain. I'm really proud of that. But what I'm most proud of is that the children here, the staff here, they're loved, they're thriving, and they're really proud to call this school, Henleybank High School, their own. Next slide, please, Miss Barr. So, guys, I just wanted to touch base. Yes, this is a photo of the inside of my dishwasher, and some of you may have already seen my MacBook placed closely to the chopping board on the right-hand side there. I just wanted to, before I go into my philosophy for education, I just want to give a big shout out to parents, carers, and students. I haven't been on the front line with you, your very own front line, but I know how tough it's been. I've got a little boy called Jack who is 3 years old in 2 weeks' time, and this is his appraisal of my homeschooling. So the MacBook there, you can see, whilst being extremely clean, is absolutely destroyed, and I think my son was giving me a message here. I just wanted to say to you, parents and carers, I take my hat off to you. Hopefully we're coming to the end of this, but until we do so, keep going. You're doing a brilliant job. Yes, please, Miss Barr. So my philosophy for success, and this comes from my experience through education, a number of different levels of leadership, and I just wanted to share it with you. So the creation of a safe and secure environment for all, safeguarding of you, boys and girls, is my absolute priority, to ensure that you are confident to come to school, where you are cared for, and you know that authentically, is my absolute priority. A knowledge-rich, broad and challenging curriculum. Well, just 12 years ago, the ideas of Facebook and smartphones were exactly that. They were just concepts scribbled on a piece of paper. And now we have, I have to read these bits because I don't really understand what the jobs are, but we've got careers: the app developer, cloud computing specialist, social media manager, driverless car engineer. Now, these are examples of careers that didn't exist 12 years ago. And we must have a curriculum that is relevant and prepares you, boys and girls, for 2027 when you graduate from Avonbourne academies, for careers that at the moment don't exist. We've got to be responsive and we have to be current. The challenge of the curriculum must be the challenge for the students and the staff who are teaching it. They've got to be on the ball and supported all the way through this. Now, COVID-19, with respect to curriculum, has taught us an invaluable lesson, something which I've always championed, and that is the importance, the sheer importance that the arts, music, drama, dance, and sport play on our on the well-being and happiness and fulfillment of everybody. And I'm really looking forward to watching our boys and girls thrive on the courts, in the arenas, on the stages, on the pitches, in the swimming pools, you name it. That is absolutely going to be part of our curriculum. Now then, disruption-free, distraction-free classrooms. I believe that no student has the right to purposefully disrupt the learning and therefore life choices of any other child. I'm yet to meet a parent or a child who actually wants their learning and life choices disrupted by the conscious behaviours of another. And you have our absolute commitment as a team to ensure that this doesn't happen. Now, distraction-free, any teachers out there in the audience this evening will know that our arena has the vulnerability to often be invaded by strategies of learning, teaching and learning, that whilst look great, for the amount of time invested, really have little impact on the learning of your children. We keep things simple here. Simplicity is key. If it's not going to have a positive impact on the learning and life chances of your child, it's just not going to take place 100% of the time. I'm a firm believer that first impressions count, and our children will be supported to look the sharpest in the county, absolutely and utterly. Structure liberates. We have really clear, consistent and calm approaches to ensuring that our culture at school is one that breeds confidence in its learners and also really gets underneath the skin and makes sure that our children are supported with respect to well-being and mental health. And we need to have structures in that to ensure that this can happen. And Miss Barr is going to go through those with you shortly. I expect the highest standards from everybody every day. That's you, boys and girls. That's also my staff in every position. One thing I can guarantee to you is that I will bring my best self to school every day, and I will be creating the conditions in the culture that ensures that everybody else can do that too. I'm a firm believer that character liberates academia. I think you may have the greatest academic qualifications, but if you haven't got the character to fuel it, I don't think you can really liberate those qualifications. Next slide, please, Miss Barr. Mahatma Gandhi says among his 7 social sins that knowledge without character, well, that's a sin. And I've got to go along with him on that one. Next slide, please, Miss Barr. I believe that fantastic qualifications that you boys and girls are going to get you into the interview room. And I really believe that your strength of character, your confidence, your tenacity, your passion, your sense of humour will ensure that you leave that interview room with the job. Thanks, Miss Barr. And then all staff strive to improve their practice daily. I don't believe in things such as outstanding teachers, and I certainly won't be running a school for Ofsted. I'll be running it for the needs of your children and our staff. I won't be using the words outstanding to describe their practice, but what we will be ensuring is that we are supported to be that little bit better every day. What I want is a school where great teachers with fire in their bellies come to school day in, day out. Yeah, they make mistakes and they're supported to do so, but they're absolutely impassioned to be better that little bit every day, just like our students. I'm a firm believer that as actually a reluctant reader, when I was your age, boys and girls, I think it took me about 3 years to get through Danny Champion of the World, believe it or not. But I know that children that read well do better. And we are going to be reading a lot at this school, various times of the day. So be prepared to explore reading and to really empower yourselves through literacy. And finally, every child has the potential to fulfill their dreams, regardless of starting point, regardless of ability. Children at this school, all of them, are going to be learning exactly the same things. In every class, in every set, we will all study Macbeth. We will all study 16th century novella. And in different classes, we will just study it at a different rate. But we will all have the opportunity to absorb the same wonderful information from our world-class curriculum. Next slide, please, Ms. Barr. Okay, so this gifted and talented paradox, I want to kind of blow the doors off that, really. I don't agree with it, because I do believe, regardless of talent, those who work hard will beat the talented when the talented fail to work hard. So, kids, there's a few little bits on the next slide for me, Miss Barr. And these things require zero talent. Being on time and being present in the moment and learning. It's true that poor attendance is going to be the greatest negative impact on anybody's dreams and life choices. So being on time and being present is really important. Looking extremely smart. The new uniform that we've got for you looks beautiful, and I can't wait to see you guys in it. Being prepared to learn, making sure that you've got the right equipment so that you can crack on, and so can your peers around you. Working really hard. As I say, work hard. Then the talents will start to flow and you'll uncover hidden talents that you never knew you had. Behaving brilliantly so that you can thrive, and so can your teammates, those peers around you in the same classes. And we do have structures in place to help you do that. Asking for help. Guys, I want you to really start to ask for help with everything that you may need in your classes, around and about. You're going to need it when you first start, so will I. But please do feel free, have the confidence to ask for help. If we don't know, we can't help you. Showing respect for self and others requires zero talent. What we want to be able to do is to help you liberate those opinions and beliefs that you so passionately have. And we want you to be able to do that with confidence, but also in a manner that gets you listened to. We also want you to be able to respect deeply the beliefs and opinions of others. Whilst you might not agree with them, you can gain value from them. And finally, guys, be courageous. It's quite strange for a head teacher to say this, but boys and girls, I want you to fail. And I want you to fail smiling. Because I used to race motorbikes, and we have a saying, crashing is proof you're trying. And I want you to really, really step out your comfort zones in everything that you do and really challenge your potential, because until you do that, we'll never know what you really are capable of achieving. So let's all step out our comfort zones together. Yes, please, Ms. Barr. So, boys and girls, I'd like to tell you that when you join in September, that your journey to GCSE and then A-level and university and life success is going to be like this, a straight road. It really isn't. And how boring would that be? Yes, please, miss. It's going to look more like this, and that looks like a much more adventurous, much more enjoyable road to travel on. Yes, at times it's going to feel steep, at times it might feel that there are blind corners. It may feel sometimes that it's too steep, or maybe that you're coming back downhill. That is absolutely perfect, okay? That's how we develop character. And what Miss Barr is going to do now is just go through some of the systems and strategies that we have to make sure that although we want you to be challenged to step out, you do so with confidence, knowing that we have protocols that will support you to do so. So I'm just going to pass over to Miss Barr now, who is going to go through some of the systems and strategies for success that we have at Avonbourne Academies to make sure that you hit the ground running. Thank you ever so much, Miss Barr.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nash, and good evening, parents and any students watching. We cannot wait to welcome you to the Avonbourne Academies very, very soon. So a day in the life of a Year 7 student at the Avonbourne Academies starts a little bit like this image on the screen. Now, sadly, this isn't an image of our school, but it looks very familiar. So Year 7 lineups happen separately from the rest of the school. So every single morning we line up together with our tutor groups as a year group. Now we line up, like I say, separate from the rest of the school in the basketball courts. The other year groups line up on a playground to the other side of the school. So we have our very own space. Now, the morning lineup is an excellent opportunity for me to say a big good morning to you all and see you all face to face, which is really great. I can then also deliver any key messages for the day or the week, or reminders about clubs or opportunities that are up and coming to make sure every student in Year 7 has heard the same messages. Tutors then also have the opportunity to say good morning to each of their students and check that students have everything they're going to need for a successful day of learning. So is their uniform beautifully presented, and do they have all the equipment they need? This means that any issues or concerns can be ironed out first thing in the morning so students can walk into the school, walk into their classrooms prepared to learn. The great thing also, Year 6, about lineups is that your teacher takes you directly to your classroom. So from the lineups, from the basketball courts, you walk with your tutor group, with the teacher to the classroom. And I know a lot of Year 6s are very nervous and anxious about getting lost around our school. So hopefully that's one thing that's going to make you feel a little bit more reassured. Now, we hold Year 7 lineups 3 times a day. So first thing in the morning, after break time and after lunchtime. We have 5 lessons a day at the Avonbourne Academies, and each one of these is an hour in length. However, some lessons are doubles. Break time is 20 minutes after period 2 and lunchtime is 40 minutes at 1:25. Now, this is a bit of a later lunch than what a lot of us are used to, and I know it's certainly going to take me some getting used to when we come back to school. So I absolutely recommend Year 6 that you do pack a snack, or make sure your account is topped up with some money so you can buy a snack from our canteens to keep you going throughout the day. Now, as you can see, our morning and each afternoon is bookended by tutor time. And morning tutor time is for assembly, literacy and numeracy practice, as well as a chance for tutors to check homework. And tutor time in the afternoon is known as our DEAR sessions, which stands for Drop Everything and Read, which Mr. Nash will talk to you a little bit further about in this presentation. So Year 6s, Year 7s do remain with their tutor group for the whole of the first half term, okay? So you'll go with your tutor to tutor time in the morning, go to all your lessons with them, and DEAR time at the end of the day. However, around October half term, we start to do some initial assessments with Year 7, and that's when we then move you into your streams. Tutor groups stay exactly the same, however, so tutor groups are mixed ability, so you will stay with your tutor group in the morning and the afternoon, but after October half term, you will move into those streamed groups. So as you know from the yellow booklet that was sent home and also from the information and guidance on the website, we ask students to come to the Academy ready and prepared for success. Now, some of the equipment that you're going to need to bring Year 6 is available to purchase from our online store, and hopefully you've managed to access that through the finance letter that went home to your parents recently. Now, if you do purchase any of the items from our store, these will be giving out to students on their first day at the Avonbourne Academy. So please don't worry if you don't have everything ready the first morning, it will get given out to you during the day by your tutors. Now, a video of the essential equipment that you need for every day will be posted onto the transition pages of our website very soon. And I believe it's already on our YouTube channel, which is fantastic news and a chance for you to look through and check that you've got everything ready. Now, alongside the equipment, students must also have their timetable and their first impressions card with them. Now, these items, again, we will give you when you first join with us Year 6. Our first impressions card is there to support students to get it right and can almost be seen as a little bit of a checklist to support them in making the right decisions and making sure they've got everything they need with them. As Mr. Nash said earlier, first impressions really do count, and we know as adults parents that being prepared and well presented are essential in the modern world. So the aim of the first impressions card is not to get any ticks, and so many of my current Year 7s have done this throughout the year, so it's absolutely achievable and they're very proud of themselves. So my top advice to support students in making the right decisions and making sure they've got everything ready is packing their bags the night before. And I know it sounds very obvious, but that really, really will help students to check through, potentially even having a little checklist on the fridge or in their bedrooms to make sure they've got their pencil case, their first impressions card, their timetable, their homework, their PE kit, their lunchbox, making sure they are absolutely ready. So in the morning, it's very stress-free and they can come into school fully prepared. So as Mr. Nash mentioned, we have a new uniform from September, which we're really, really excited about here at the Avonbourne Academies. So the new uniform will be worn by our new starters. So current Year 6 students coming into Year 7, you'll all be wearing the new uniform, which you can see an image of on the screen. Two of my lovely current Year 7s were in for provision last week at school. We managed to get some samples of the uniform and they were very proud to try on. So they're looking very chuffed in the photograph. So the new uniform will be worn by Year 7s next year and also by our Year 10s, so our current Year 9 students. Other students in the school may be wearing their old uniform for another year, just while we can get the new uniform sorted for everybody, but some of them might choose to purchase the new uniform. So we're going to have a bit of a year where students will be in 2 different uniforms, but everybody in new Year 7 will be in our new uniform. Now, the uniform is not just about having every item. It's about wearing it correctly, and it really must be worn correctly at all times, Year 6. Please do, parents, refer to the uniform policy on our Academy website, which I'll show you where that is in a second, and do check through each morning, Year 6. Have a look. Have you got everything? Are you prepared? Are you looking smart and presentable? And again, the first impressions card here is to support students to get that right. Now, the uniform policy is very clear about what items must be bought from Stevenson's, which is our supplier for the uniform, and what items can be bought elsewhere. Now, many high street stores will brand the uniform that they have in their stores or stock as back to school. However, a lot of this isn't appropriate for our school. Please do check with us, parents, if you're unsure about any items that you've bought, and do keep your receipts, as we don't want any of you spending money on wrong items. Our uniform policy, like I say, is very clear, and appropriate shoes, school trousers, and as well as hairstyles and jewellery. So it's really important you read that through in detail. Now for the girls' uniform, girls either have the option of wearing the tartan skirt, which you saw in the previous image, or the grey trousers. And if you're wearing these grey trousers on the screen, you absolutely have it correct, as well as the footwear that is on there. Any of these items, girls, will not be accepted. So please make sure you are not purchasing any of the items that you see on the screen or anything that is mentioned within the uniform policy as not accepted. The same for the boys. We've got smart grey trousers on the screen. If students are wearing those, brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant, and that's great. You're looking really smart and presentable. The same with the footwear. Unfortunately, none of these styles are accepted. So please, please, please do check out our website. Have a look at where we've got our uniform policy, read it through. And if you've got any questions or queries, please do, like I say, you can send us through images to our email address, which I'll share with you later on, and keep those receipts as well. We don't want you spending money if it's not going to be right. Sorry, back to you, Mr. Nash.
Thank you, Ms. Barr. So we operate a never seen, never heard policy with respect to the use of mobile phones, headphones, and also smartwatches. I'm yet to be convinced by an argument that tells me that mobile phones have a positive influence on children, especially in schools. So we want to take that distraction away, and we do so by ensuring that they are just never seen and they are just never heard. Now, of course, feel free to bring them with you, but please make sure that if they're in your bags, in your pockets, please make sure that they're either off or at the very least on silent. We want to remove any of those distractions for you. You can pick your social lives up as soon as you get back home. It'll be waiting for you, ready for you to rejoin it. But whilst in school, please make sure that we can't see them and we can't hear them. If we do see or hear them, they will be taken from you, handed to reception and returned at 4 o'clock. But please be aware that if this becomes a routine issue, that parents and carers will have to come and collect those devices and they won't be returned to the children. Yes, please, miss. Okay, so challenge to thrive. Don't worry, this isn't one of the windows at Avonbourne Academies. There is actually a theory called the broken windows theory. I don't know if you've ever seen it before. If you're walking past a window that has a hole in, I can bet you a week later there'll be more holes in it where other people have thrown stones at it. We have really high standards and expectations at Avonbourne Academies. And in order to maintain those, we have to have systems and strategies in place for those really rare occasions when they're not met. We want to support you to ensure that you do maintain them. You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. It's okay to get things wrong. What isn't okay is to consciously keep getting them wrong, boys and girls. So we want to help you with a really clear systems and strategies to make sure that you get it right and you hit the ground running in September. Yes, please, miss. Now, please do really familiarise yourself with the behaviour policies you can see on this slide where it is. Go to the home page, the About Us. Under additional information, you'll find the behaviour policy there. And that gives you a really clear guide as to expectations, standards, and absolutely everything. So please do immerse yourself in that information, as well as the uniform policy that Miss Barr was talking about earlier. Thank you, miss.
Okay, so here on the screen, we have the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve, which shows the rate at which our ability to recall knowledge drops over time, unless we have opportunities to review previously learned information through spaced practice. Now, Mr. Nash just talked about expectations, and our expectation for homework at the Avonbourne Academies is high, students, and it is going to be quite a big change from primary school. Now, our Key Stage 3 homework schedule provides students with this spaced retrieval practice to help better support the rate of retention, which for our knowledge-rich curriculum is absolutely vital. So homework is a big change from primary school, as I say, and at the Avonbourne Academies, we set 90 minutes of homework every single evening. Now, what's great about this is we do provide students and parents with half-termly homework schedules. So all the homework for the half term is set out in advance. So when students come up to us in September, we'll be able to provide the first half term's homework on a schedule so students know exactly what's coming every single evening. So this allows students to begin to take ownership of their planning and plan out their homework. So if, for example, they have a club or an extracurricular activity that they take part in the weekday evenings, then they can get ahead with their homework. They can plan around this, and it really makes them take control of their own learning and become more independent with it. So our Key Stage 3 homework comprises of 30 minutes of a reading comprehension task, which is based around the DEAR, which students will have looked at in their Drop Everything and Read session in tutor time. There's also 30 minutes of self-quizzing from knowledge organisers, and I will be posting some information about that for you Year 6 to give you a bit of a heads up and a head start with that next week on the transition pages of our website. There's also 30 minutes on Hegarty Maths, which is one of the online maths platforms that we use here at the academies. Now, we do have homework clubs on most nights most nights during the week, which will give students a quiet place, computer access, printer, all the resources they should need to complete their homework if they would rather do it in school. And I know a lot of students, particularly in Year 7, would much rather finish the day at 3:35, go into homework club, get their homework done, so then they can go home and the evening is for them. We also have sessions within our learning support, which will provide students with a little bit of extra help should they need it with their homework. So lots of opportunities to do it within school, but it's also absolutely fine, of course, to leave the school day at 3:35, go home and do the homework within their own time. Back to you, Mr. Nash.
Thank you, Ms. Barr. The slide that you can see at the moment, in my opinion, shows the most important team that exists on planet Earth. That is the team of the professionals, the pupils and the parents. And we have to work together throughout the pupils' time at school to make sure that whatever their potential is, because we just don't know it yet, is realised. Now, I want you all to know that Avonbourne Academies isn't an easy option. Pupils are going to be challenged every day, just like the staff are, to step outside their comfort zones and be the best that they can possibly be. And parents, we're going to need your support in order to do so. That includes my staff. Now, I am of the opinion that that schools are led by head teachers and the staff that run them. And whilst I will absolutely listen to the challenges and ideas and creativity from the wider community, I have never overturned one of my teachers' decisions, and I just wanted to be transparent with that. Please do get in touch with us. Communication is critical for success. Thank you, Ms. Barr. So, as we said at the start, here are some frequently asked questions. These are taken from our experiences, both mine and Ms. Barr's, of recent transition events, both at my school here in Gloucester and others across the country. And these are questions that students and parents were asking most routinely. So, boys and girls, will I get lost? Yes. As will I. So I'm going to be the new boy as well with you. So I'll be joining with you in September, and I don't know the buildings yet. So we are definitely going to get lost. But one thing I can assure you is everything will be in place for you as soon as you start, to make sure that when you do get lost, you're found very quickly. Okay, so please don't worry about that. Everybody is here to help you, and actually getting lost is quite good fun. In fact, it's the best way to find your way around, I think. Will I get bullied? Any school in the country that states that bullying doesn't happen in their schools aren't telling the truth. And whilst I can't guarantee what the behaviour of the children of other parents and carers is going to be, one thing I can guarantee is any cases of bullying will be dealt with by myself, Miss Barr and our leadership team. Please rest assured, we will prioritise those behaviours. Which tutor group am I in? We don't know yet. And if you're worried about you're not going to be in the tutor group with a friend, please don't worry. You will find this out in September. And I can assure you, within half an hour, you're going to have friends that you never knew existed. It's really exciting. What happens if I talk in lessons? So, boys and girls, we've spoken about it earlier. Your dreams and life choices are the most important thing to us, as well as your safety. And we will guarantee that your classrooms are 100% disruption and distraction free. If people do talk or behave in a manner that disrupts your learning, the name will go on the board very clearly. That name can't be worked off. That is the first warning and only warning. If disruption happens again from the same student, then we do have our inclusion room where students will go and they will work very, very hard on maths, English and science in silence for the remainder of that day and up until the point that they were sent to the inclusion room the next day, with a detention in between. Now, the vast majority of students don't go there, and I know that you won't too. And again, kids, it's okay to get things wrong. What isn't okay is to keep getting it wrong. Can I go to the toilet during lesson? Absolutely not. Unless you have a medical pass which Miss Barr will work with to ensure that you are comfortable throughout your lessons. But otherwise, every second of every minute counts. Please use the break times to make sure that you go to the toilets when necessary. Can I drink in lessons? Of course you can. Water. Definitely not fizzy drinks, and most certainly not those energy drinks. They're really bad for you, and they won't help you focus during lessons. Can I wear different footwear to that which has already been displayed by Miss Barr? No. Unless, of course, you do have a medical reason as to why you might have to. But please note that any of these recommendations must be written to us by a medical professional, and in that letter it must state that exact brand and the reason for that brand having to be worn. And please do also rest assured that, as I said earlier, to maintain our high standards, expectations and fairness for everybody, I will challenge those letters in each and every case. What about transition day and summer work? Well, I'm going to hand over to the person who knows much more about that than I do. Thank you, Miss Barr.
Thank you, Mr. Nash. So parents, students, as you know, very, very sadly, our transition date has been cancelled this year. It was due to take place on Wednesday, the 1st of July. And I'm absolutely gutted because it's one of my favourite days of the year. I absolutely did not want, though, for any of you to miss out on the opportunities to sample some of our lessons and to meet some of our staff, which are key things on transition day. So on Wednesday, the 1st of July, I'll be posting some sample lessons, which are accompanied by YouTube video messages or tutorials for Year 6 you to have a go at. Now, the videos will not be live until Wednesday morning at 8:30. So if you had tried to click on them already, they won't be working and they'll still come up as private. But from Wednesday morning, fingers crossed, those videos should be able for you to view. So I've made primary schools aware, if your son or daughter is in school, that these resources are available for the primary schools online, but I completely understand that not all schools will be able to deliver these or have the opportunity to go through them. So the resources will remain on our website for students to have a go at over the next few weeks of term and also the summer holidays. So please don't worry if you don't get the opportunity to look at them on Wednesday, the 1st of July. I'll also be posting a morning assembly from me, just as if we were face-to-face doing the transition day, which will include some details of summer home learning tasks, which we would like Year 6 to have a go at and get involved with. There'll also be some more information about the character passport, which when I have been able to go out to some schools and visit, I've been able to take hard copies, and I will be dropping in some hard copies to other local feeder primary schools. But if not, all of it is all available on the website for you to download and print off, and there's lots of family challenges and a real chance for you to get to know our values here at the Avonbourne Academies. So sadly, I haven't been able to visit every primary school just this year due to the different school restrictions on visitors. So if your son or daughter, or if you have any questions that you would like to ask us, please do use the transition pages of our website. I've set up a Google form on there, which you just need to fill in, put in your email address and pop in your question, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. So all those things I've just talked about are located on our website, so either avonbournegirlsacademy.org.uk or avonbourneboysacademy.org.uk. You just need to go to the Parents tab and then to Transition. And all the information is on there regarding the transition day, the resources. There's also a tour video of our Block A building. I'm hoping to very soon do our Block B building as well. Unfortunately, due to the current circumstances, we did close down half of our school, so we only had a certain area open, but that is reopening now, so I'll be able to go over there and film a Block B tour very soon. There's also a video on there of lots of staff members saying hello and giving their top tips. And like I say, all the resources for transition day and also for the summer work. So please do check it out. And like I say, if you have any questions, pop on there and we'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. We also have our Twitter feed. So I've got my Twitter feed for the current Year 7s on there, so you can have a look at some of the examples of what they've been up to during home learning. But we have also our very own Year 6 Twitter feed, which is at Avonbourne_2027, as we are the class of 2027 Year 6. You will be graduating from us in the year 2027, which seems so long away now, but it really will come around very quickly. So do please follow us. Do please get in touch with us via the email address as well, if that helps, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can to try and answer as many of your questions. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Nash.
Thank you, Miss Barr, and thank you so much for all the resources that you've put on the transition tab there. They are simply stunning. So the final question, question 11 there, when will we start? Boys and girls, if we could have you back tomorrow, we would. If we could welcome you through the doors of Avonbourne Academies to walk you around the buildings, we absolutely would. We just can't do that right now. One thing we will absolutely promise to you is that we are following the guidance and advice from the Department for Education and Public Health England to make sure that when we do open, we open safely. And if we follow the current trends, boys and girls, it seems that this relaxing of social distancing measures may mean for a really, really good bit of information, a great bit of news very, very shortly. We plan to open immediately in September, as we would do normally. And as I said, we will just keep you posted throughout. So please don't worry about that. Enjoy your summer break, getting excited about joining big school. Yes, please, miss. And that's all from us, boys, girls, parents, carers, friends who may be watching. I just wanted to say that I am so proud to be your principal. We're joining the school together. We're starting this journey together. And I am super, super excited to be coming back to Dorset, and especially to be working with you. And I just want to say thank you again, Miss Barr. I'm sure she'd like to say a quick goodbye. But from me, thank you. I can't wait to see you. Have a great time.
Thank you, Mr. Nash. And yes, goodbye, everyone. Thank you for watching. We hope this has been useful for you. Do keep in touch with us if there's anything we can do to support, and have a lovely summer when it arrives. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.